We specialise in rehabilitating horses that have soft tissue injuries. You will probably notice these as horses that are stiff, a horse that is unlevel or lame, or possibly one-sided. There may have been a change in his behaviour, and there will have been a reduction in his performance. The injuries can be caused by a specific accident, but more commonly they are the result of the way the horse has been trained or ridden. What he needs is simply a better way to move. Horses were never designed to be ridden and get all sorts of aches and strains. And although there have been improvements in how these injuries can be treated, unless the underlying cause is removed, the injury will either reoccur or the recovery will be incomplete. So what do I mean about changing the cause? Let's have a look at an example. A few years ago, the government developed an educational policy designed to reduce the chance of injury when people lifted heavy parcels. It became known as the safe lifting technique, straight back, bent knees, etc. In much the same way, we need to educate our horses to carry a rider in a way that reduces his chance of him injuring himself. If you like, it's the equine equivalent of the safe lifting technique for the ridden horse. That's where I can help. What I mean by rehabilitating a horse is to change how he moves when ridden to a way of going that reduces his chance of him injuring himself and improves his performance. Their recovery is quicker and more sustainable, and they feel more comfortable. Oh, and they tend to become happier horses too.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at what I mean by simply a better way to move.
Hello, this is Katerina. So what do I mean about giving a horse a simply better way to move? I'd like for you to think about Katerina in the following terms. Where does she push from? If you like, if she had an engine, where would her engine be located? Think about her spine and her back. How would this feel if it had a heavy weight on it and it was unsupported? Now think about her shoulders and her forelimbs. Look at the joints. Can you imagine the pressure that would land on all of those if all her weight was to be carried on her forehand? In an ideal world for Katerina to stay safe when she's ridden, she will use her hind quarters to push herself forward. She will engage the muscles down her spine to support herself and carry the weight of her and a rider. And she will relieve the pressure on the forelimbs by progressively moving her hind legs further and further underneath her body, allowing her to transfer her weight back onto her haunches. So okay, let's take a look. Let's see what happens when Katerina starts to move.
As the mare begins to move off, we can clearly see she is pushing forward from behind. Her abdominal muscles and those down her spine are becoming engaged to create a frame. As the mare moves to trot, we can see that she is tracking up, but not yet fully engaged by tilting her pelvis. This is where this mare is stiff, as so many are. It requires progressive development to encourage her to move her hind legs further underneath herself. We can see that Katerina is able to maintain her frame under saddle, and with the encouragement of the rider, she is beginning the next stage by showing a few strides where her pelvis begins to tilt. There. The stride becomes longer and more exaggerated, and her back begins to swing. Meet Charlie. This is Charlie. He is a 7-year-old cob who came to me as a mixed picture. He was stiff and unlevel behind and on his near side forward. He was back and neck wasted. He carried all of his weight on the forehand, hollowed his back and trailed his hinds. He had changed from a happy, positive chappie to a grumpy, agitated horse. It was obvious something was wrong, but what was the root of his trouble? And how do you stop it happening again? As you can see from this lovely walk, we found the answer. Charlie had pain in both SIJs or hips, which needed medicating before I could retrain him to use his quarters. It was both a physical and psychological journey as Charlie regained his strength and his trust in his quarters. As he moves to trot, his lack of confidence is seen as short strides. But now watch. As he relaxes, realising he's playing free, the stride begins to lengthen and he swings away. In the few weeks since making this video, Charlie's progress has been rapid and he's back home. I wrote him out yesterday and it was truly a joy.
That's what I wanted.
This approach to training horses has been known for centuries and has had various names. Today I hear the phrase working horses over their backs as the most common term for it. It is the basis for my therapeutic riding, but is equally good as the basis for riding all horses irrespective of discipline. This is my Polly Ann. She's 31 and still under saddle. It is a horse's safe lifting technique, helping to protect him from injury. There are numerous gadgets and aids which are said to develop horses and make them move in this way. I have always been wary of these, believing in time and patience. You need to establish a good relationship with the horse. If a horse is not complying, I will always investigate why, rather than forcing an issue. Training horses goes beyond words. Pollyanna has been training me for 25 years. I think we understand each other a little.